Hello, 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 everybody. Good afternoon. Hello, how is everybody? We're going to give them a few more minutes to sign in on this wonderful Thursday. Hope everybody had a great day. Try to stay cool, stay hydrated because it is hot out there. And as you come in, say hi in the comments so I'll know who's on with me. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hi, Jessica. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's doing good today. Hope everyone had a good day. I'm excited today to talk with you guys again. I'm excited that I'm able to see another Thursday, to sit here to talk with you. I don't know about anybody else, but it's been a long day. It's been a long day today. But nevertheless, we're going to do this and pray that it helps someone else, that it touch someone where they need to be touched at. It helps. And as always, when I start, I like to go over what we talked about prior, but I'm going to wait a few more minutes just to see if we can get how many more we can get on here. So like I said earlier, if you on here, say hello so I know who's on with me in the comments. Just type hello in the comments and I'll see you. Hey, Evan. Hope you had a good day. Hey, Charity. So we're going to recap while we're waiting on some others. So we know that we've talked about owning your stuff, speaking your truth, allowing your trauma to push you into your purpose. And last week, we talked about seasons and change. So we all know that nothing stays the same. It's not going to always be that way, and you'll never stay in the same place long because there are four seasons in life. Just like we have winter, spring, summer, and fall, you also have seasons. It won't stay that way, but some seasons come to help us grow, to help us mature in things. So it's not going to always stay that way. If you're down in this season, next season you'll be up. So just learn to deal even in the seasons. It's sometimes it's all about how you're waiting and what you're doing while you're waiting in those seasons. Um, and some trauma that we have in life is just that, it's trauma, but you have to deal with that trauma because trauma sometimes turns into dysfunction. And that's what we want to talk about today: dysfunction and comfort zones. And I guess y'all probably say, now, how in the world are you going to get that together? But like I said, some trauma leads to dysfunction because you never dealt with that trauma. So it leaves you to allow a lot of dysfunction, and you stay in dysfunction because you never dealt with your trauma. And some people can even say it's your comfort place, that you would rather stay in dysfunction than to deal with your trauma. So you've gotten comfortable in that place. It's okay in that place as long as I don't have to deal with that trauma. I'll take this little bit because I don't want to deal with all of that. So, I'm at this place right here. And sometimes people say it is what it is. I used to say that. And saying it is what it is just saying that I'd rather just accept this because I ain't want to deal with all that other stuff. It's all right. It is what it is because I don't want to deal with my other stuff. So I've allowed my trauma to turn into dysfunction because I don't want to deal. And if I can't deal, then I can't heal. So you can see how it all ties in together. So a comfort zone is a place where it's where you're at that you don't have to deal with no stress. So I'm okay with this right here. This is my comfortable place. Even everything around me is in dysfunction. I'm okay right here because I'm used to this dysfunction. I don't want to deal with my trauma that led to my dysfunction because I didn't deal with my stuff. So dysfunction is something that's unhealthy. So that's an unhealthy thing. So how is dysfunction healthy for you? It's not. It's unhealthy. Dysfunction is not a place where you should want to stay. You should want to deal so you can heal. So that trauma doesn't lead to dysfunction. Like I said, trauma should push you into your purpose. It shouldn't lead you to dysfunction. Just because you don't want to deal with the trauma or what happened, you rather allow yourself to stay in the dysfunction because you don't want to deal. But you have to deal so you can heal. That means you're going to have that same, you're going to be in that same place. To you, it's a comfort place, it's a comfort zone because you're used to it. You know, sometimes when people step out of dysfunction, it throws them all off because they've been in that dysfunction for so long, they don't know how to function outside of their dysfunction. So they think their dysfunction is okay. But on the outside, people are like, wow, because you've lived in it for so long that it's become okay to you. That's okay. That's your comfortable place because you don't want to deal. And you would rather live in that dysfunction than to deal with everything else. So does that make sense to you guys? Does that make sense that sometimes our comfortable place is not a functional place? It's a dysfunctional place. But you would rather stay there because you don't want to deal. You would rather stay there than deal. So I just thought that that was good because sometimes you have to sit back and wonder, why is it like this? Why is it, sometimes you'll look around and you'll be like, but I'm comfortable. But is your comfortable healthy? Is it healthy for you? It's just comfortable for you. Or is it healthy for you? Hello, Anita. But is it healthy? Is your discomfort or your dysfunction okay? That's a question you have to ask yourself. That's only you can answer that. You got to stop and say, am I truly okay? Or I'm just in this zone right here where I'm okay. You put yourself in this box and you're in this box like this. You can't bump but so much because you got so much clutter around there. You boxed yourself in. So how can you think that that's a good place when you're in that function that you can't, if you bump this way you're gonna hit something, if you bump that way you're gonna hit something. But long as you don't have to deal, I can stay like this, I'm okay like this, I'm okay, I don't need to do nothing. But if you stretched your hand out, that means you coming out of it each way. So instead of allowing yourself to stay stuck like that, every now and then you need to stretch your hand out and say, I'm coming out this comfortable, this comfort zone. I'm coming out of this dysfunction. If I have to stretch one hand at a time, if I have to stretch one leg at a time, I'm coming out of this because it's not healthy for me. I've got to deal so I can heal. I've got to own my stuff so I can allow my trauma to push me into my purpose, not allow my trauma to push me into dysfunction. So I want to come out of that. I want to be better. I don't want to stay stuck this way. This trauma can cause dysfunction, and the dysfunction has become your comfort zone. So y'all catch that? Trauma can cause dysfunction, and the dysfunction has become your comfort zone because you've allowed it to, because you would rather do it that way than to deal so you can heal, so the people around you can heal, because you're not just affecting yourself, you're affecting the people around you too. Because when you allow your trauma to cause dysfunction, it's not just affecting you, it's affecting the people around you and the people that are close to you because they want what's best for you. So in another sense, you're being selfish because you don't want to deal, but they're looking at like, I want better for them, I want them to be better, I want them to do better. But it doesn't matter what they want until you want it doesn't matter until you want it. They can want it all day, all year, they can cry and they can pray, but until you want it, it doesn't matter what nobody else wants. Until you want the change or I want the change, it doesn't matter. I hear people all the time praying and praying, but you have to understand God is all knowing, He is all seeing. But one thing He will never do is force anything on us. So we got to want to change. We have got to want to change for Him to do that. How can you deal with your dysfunction if you fear seems to rise up all the time? This is what you have to do. We know that fear is not of God, but we all have fear. So whenever something comes on me that I know that I can't handle by myself, or my trauma or what I've been through, I take it one day at a time. I deal with one issue at a time until before you realize it, you've stepped over that. Because He didn't give us the spirit of fear. He gave us the spirit of sound mind, right? So that means in my mind, everything to me begins in your mind. Fear begins in your mind. It's something that you think. You think. So every day I have to say that I'm not scared of that. That's not going to bother me. I'm going to rise above this. Then don't think because I'm sitting here talking that I haven't been through some of this stuff that you guys are going through, or that somebody else has experienced, because fear is something that will paralyze you. It'll stop you. It'll keep you from reaching your destiny. It'll stop you from fulfilling your purpose, because fear will trap you. It will paralyze you. So every day you have to say, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And greater is He that is in me than he that is in the world. And I said this before, if you don't acknowledge God, this might not be the right podcast for you, because I have to acknowledge Him, because I know without Him I am nothing. So with that being said, those are things I say every day, because I can do anything with God. Because even with this, I was fearful of this, but I have to remind myself every day, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And greater is He that is within me than he that is in the world. And I'm more than a conqueror, because He said I was. So we have to find little things to help, pep ourselves up. You can't always look to somebody else. People do encourage you, but sometimes you have to learn to say, I got this. I can do this. I know I can do this. And if you have to take little baby steps, I'm not saying you're going to get it right the first time and fear not going to come, because it do. I have to talk myself down. Even sometimes when I'm getting ready to preach, I have to talk my nerves down and pep myself up. Okay, girl, you got to do this. You can't let this thing stop you. Even doing this, I have to pep myself up every Thursday, or my daughters, one of them push me up, or my goddaughters or somebody, because even I get fearful of things. So don't ever feel like that, just because you have that little tremble this time, that you can't accomplish what you set out to accomplish. Yes, you can. You can do whatever you want to do, or whatever you set your mind to do. Don't let fear stop you. You have to say, no, fear, you can't win. You're not going to win. I don't care how many times you make me shake. I don't care how many times my hands shaking. I have to hide them. My knees knocking. I thank God that you can't see under my desk, because my leg is just a going. So don't ever think you're the only one that feel like that. But the more you do it, the more fear leave you. So the more we push together, the more it's got to go. And I hope that'll help, Charity, but that's what I have to do. So I have to keep doing it to get the fear out of it. I remember the first time I got ready to preach, Charity, I was so scared. I was stumbling over my words. And I was like, Lord, I'm nervous. I'm just as nervous. But after I got in it and got to going, the fear left. It left. And even doing this, when I get started, it goes away. So it's something that you have to face it every time. You have to face the fear head on. Don't let it stop you. Face it every time. When you feel it, come on, stand up with your back, throw your shoulders back, say, I got this. You ain't got me. Get gangster with it. No fear. You ain't got me. I got you. So that's how you have to say it. And believe it, and stand on what you said, knowing that I can do this. I can do this. And dysfunction, dysfunction has many faces. It cannot just be one thing. Like she said, it can be fear. It can be not wanting to bring up old wounds, not want to open up old wounds, not willing to talk about it. You push it down. So that's still dysfunction, because you're not wanting to deal with it. You don't want to talk about it. You rather push it to the back burner and stay in that comfortable place. That comfortable place is where I don't have to deal with the issue. That's the comfortable place. That's my comfort zone. I don't have to deal with, why it hurt me. I don't have to deal with why it made me cry. I don't have to deal with who hurt me. I don't have to deal with why I'm feeling this way. That's what dysfunction really is, because you don't want to deal. And now you've allowed all of that to cause you to be dysfunctional, because you rather just sit there in that comfortable place and not deal with it, when all you got to do is deal with it. I know it's hard, but you still got to deal with it so you can heal, so you can have a good life, a healthy life, so you can walk in your purpose and know what God has for you. And then, like I said, a lot of times it's not just about you, it's about the people connected to you, especially if you have kids or a spouse, or, that part of it, it trickles down to not just you, but it affects everyone connected to you. Even, when they say everyone around me win, everybody connected to me gonna win. But see, everybody connected to you deals with your dysfunction too. So that way it's not just about you, it's about everyone else. You gotta, it's more about accountability too, because I'm accountable for what I've done, or what portrayed comes off of me, of what I've done to the people connected to me. Because you have to take accountability for all of your actions, even if it's your trauma is what's causing the dysfunction. So why not deal with your trauma? If you have to do it in sessions, or say, I'm only going to talk about this, or I'm going to deal with this day, and then next week I'm going to deal with this, but I'm going to start dealing with it. You don't have to deal with it all at one time. You take it and break it down and be like, okay, I'm going to deal with this month. Because sometimes it may take longer than a week, and sometimes it may take people longer than a month. But you break it down to where you can deal with it, so you can begin to heal, so you can acknowledge that, okay, I've allowed this trauma to cause me to have this much dysfunction, that I'm so comfortable in my dysfunction that I don't want to do anything else. I'm going to go to work and that's it. I may go to church, but is it really doing anything, or is it serving you or helping you in any kind of way when you're just going? Or I'm gonna go get me a therapist and talk to them, but you only talk about what you want to talk about. You don't talk about what you need to talk about. So, it's always an underlying issue in anything. Whenever people are acting out, there's an underlying issue. Something's going on, there's an underlying issue. Stop and think about it before you start judging and talking about people. Think about it. Well, maybe they act like this because of this. Maybe I should just say, baby, you okay? Do you need somebody to talk to? And then that may open the door up for them to be open enough with you to talk about what's really going on with them. Because sometimes all they need is somebody to push them in the right direction, or open the door for them to be able to talk about it. So you can't hold all the time. And then we as African American women, sometimes we become judgmental, or they got a nasty attitude, but you don't know why. Stop. You don't know why. You don't know what caused them to be that way. And then you do have some people just nasty for no reason. But you have to stop and think about it. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe something's wrong and she's never really dealt with it, or he's never really dealt with it? Because men go through it too. It's not always the women. Men have these issues too. They have traumas, and they really don't deal with theirs. They just don't do it. They think it's something wrong if a man talks about his feelings or shed a tear. But it is not that case. I think we all should have somebody that we trust that much, that we can get it off our chest, or begin to heal from it, and not allow it to keep us in a dysfunction, or keep us in a place where we're not supposed to be. So I think that's something that all of us can deal with. We all can deal with that. I love that, dealing to heal, because you can't deal until you heal. But you have to be able to deal with it so you can heal. And then you can't go into another relationship like that. So how are you want to deal with someone and you haven't dealt with your issue so you could heal? So you have to look at it all the way around. So it's a whole cycle of things that revolves around all of those things that we've already talked about. So each section has a different reason, or a different lining underneath it. So you could have a relationship. All of us want a partner. All of us want a mate. But you have to be able to deal with your stuff, because if you haven't dealt with your stuff, how are you going to take that into another relationship? because it's going to be a damaged relationship because you never dealt. So in the beginning, we all, I like to say new. It's all new. But after the newness wear off, you still underneath that band-aid is still all of the same wounds. Now it's just oozing out because you just put a band-aid on top of it. You never wanted to really deal with it. You just tapped on the surface. So you entered into another relationship, whether it be a boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, husband, or just a friendship, because you can have dysfunctional friendships too. You can have dysfunctional friendships. You can have a dysfunctional marriage. You can have different, they're all different types of dysfunctional relationships. But the easiest way to do those things is to deal before you try to do anything else. Deal so you can heal, so you won't have that trauma, and that trauma won't lead to you to dysfunction, and then it won't lead you to an unhealthy relationship. So with all of that being said, I just feel like dysfunction was something that I needed to tie in with all of that and show you how dysfunction can keep you in that zone of thinking you're comfortable when you're not. It's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable place. You just allowed the dysfunction to come in and take control of where you're at, and you like it there, but it's not healthy and it's not good for you. You just want to stay there because you really don't want to deal with the real issue. So you can again say, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And 9 times out of 10, when people say I'm good, they not good. Because if I say I'm good, I'm not really good. So when you say, well, how I'm good, no. Because if you're gonna say I'm great, how are you? But when you say I'm good, that means you're not really good. You're not really good. I'm reading the thing at the bottom. I'm sorry, y'all. So you're not really good. You have to learn people's signs and how they'll say things. And I sometimes when my pastor called me and I say I'm good, he said that right there let him know I'm not good. Because I'm saying I'm good. My bed is comfy, but I got hush, Evan. Your bed is not comfy. Yes, you got to get out of it and get your day started. Yes, that's your comfy place, your bed. But I'm talking about your comfort zone. So even you're right. Your bed could be your comfort zone because some people would rather be in the bed than deal with other issues. They come home, they're going straight to their bed and they'll stay there until it's time to go to work the next day or get up and shower. Yes, because you can make your bed your comfortable place. That's your comfort zone. You're safe there. You don't really have to deal with the issues. In other words, it's your safe place when it's really not your safe place, but you think is your safe place. So again, that's what comfort zone is, a place where you feel safe, that you don't have to deal with the issues or the things around you that caused you stress or caused the trauma. So that's where you're at. That's your safe place. My safe place used to be in a car. When I'm riding, I always felt safe. That was my safe place, riding in a car. So sometimes people have different safe places. I would rather ride in the car, or I'll get in the car and just ride because I really don't want to deal with whatever the issue was. So I got to my safe place, and that was riding or driving my car. So some people's bed are their safe place. So your safe place is wherever you don't have to deal with the issue or the trauma. So if you're more safe in your bed, then that's your safe place. If you feel more comfortable in front of your TV or in your recliner, that's your safe place that you don't have to deal with stuff. So whatever your safe place is to you, that's your safe place. That's a comfort zone. That's your comfort zone. But a lot of times it's just a place where you're hiding at. It's really not a comfort zone. It's really not a safe place. It's just a hiding place. You're playing hide and seek with your trauma, so you hiding from it and not dealing with it. So you're playing hide and seek with what really caused you the trauma, that you're ending up in dysfunction. So at some point you got to stop playing hide and seek with your trauma and say, okay, I'm going to deal with this. I'm not going to let it keep me in this place the rest of my life. I've allowed it to do this much this far, but now I'm going to stand and I'm going to take control of my trauma, because it's not saying, anything you do or anything that's happened, before you can actually deal with it, you got to take ownership of it. Yes, this happened to me. Now, what am I going to do about what happened to me? Am I going to hold it and stay in this little place, or am I going to deal with it? Am I going to get up and do something about it? Do I want to be healthy? Do I need to be in a better place? Do I need to be in a better mind space that I can live life better than how I'm living now? So am I woman enough, or am I man enough to own my stuff and deal with this trauma, so I don't end up in dysfunction? So those are the questions you have to ask yourself now. Am I woman enough? Am I man enough to own this? This thing happened. I went through this thing. This thing was bad, but I'm owning it so I can deal with it, so I can heal from it, so I can have a more productive life, so I can be a better person, so I can be a whole person, so I can love and let someone love me. So, what am I willing to do about this thing called my life? What am I willing to do about this thing called my life? Am I willing to do the work so I can heal? Am I willing to do what I need to do to be healthy? Am I willing to do what I need to do to be whole? It can blind you. It really can blind you. That's all you can see is what happened to you. Nothing else. All I can see is what happened to me. Right now, that's all. Sometimes it's, this happened to me. Oh my God, this happened to me. This has made me this. This has caused me this. You've got blinders on. Your trauma has blinded you. So all you see is your trauma. It's 10 years later and all you see is your trauma. 20 years later, all you see is your trauma because you didn't deal with it. And it's always at the center of your life because you never dealt with your trauma. So when are you going to deal with it? When is enough enough? Only you can do that. Only you can know when enough is enough. I can say that's enough of that. You need to quit that. But until you feel like this is enough, I want better for myself. I want better for the people around me. So I'm going to start to do the work so I can heal from this, so I can be better. I want better. I don't want to live in dysfunction anymore. I don't need this to be my safe place or my comfortable place because I don't want to deal. I'm getting up from this place. I'm going to deal with whatever's causing me fear. I'm going to deal whatever has froze me in this place. I'm going to deal with whatever caused me to be in this place in the first place. So I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to deal with this. This will not keep me trapped anymore. I'm getting ready to deal with this. I'm getting ready to acknowledge this. I'm getting ready to do this. I'm getting ready to step out of this. I'm coming out of this. I'm coming out of it. I'm not allowing it to hold me captive anymore. I'm breaking the handcuff. I'm loosing the shackles. I'm shaking this off. I'm stepping out of this. I'm coming out of this, and I'm coming out of this now. But only you can say that. Nobody else can say that but you. So when you leave this podcast today, if you had trauma, if you've been through something that has really, really crippled you, I need you to stop, think about it, really deal with it. And if you have to call somebody, you can call me. There's a link there if you need to. If I'm not the person you want to talk to, I'm not selfish like that. As long as you get the help you need, that's what we need. That's what I want to happen. But like I said, I'm here if you need me. There's a link there. But if I'm not the person you need to talk to, I need you to talk to somebody. I need you to talk to somebody. Sometimes the best thing is talking it out. You talk it out. And then even if you have to get you a journal and write it out every day. If you have to write it out every day or talk it out every day till you get it all out so you can heal from whatever caused you that much pain. That much pain. That's what I want from you. And that's what I want for you. I want you to do that. I want you to be able to say, I'm good now. No, I'm not good. I'm great. I'm great. I'm living my best life because I've dealt with my trauma. I've dealt with my trauma, and I'm truly can say that I'm happy in this place. I'm happy right here. I'm happy at this moment in my right now. I'm happy. And when you can say that, that's an awesome thing to say, that I'm happy right now in my right now. I'm not allowing my trauma that happened 10 years ago to still dictate my life today. I've let that go. I've dealt with it. I've moved on. I'm doing better than I've ever done in my life. Sometimes we've got trauma that happened 20 years ago and we still holding on to it. But when you begin to release it, you'll begin to feel better. So again, I thank you. And today's topic was dysfunction and comfort zone. Don't allow your trauma to put you into a dysfunction, but allow your trauma to push you into your purpose. Own your stuff. Deal with it so you can heal from it. Don't keep allowing it to control you. You control it. That's a good thing right there. Don't allow it to control you. You control it. It's time for you to be in control, not it. You need to tell trauma, I got this now. I'm taking control. I've let you drove for 10 years. You done let me get all kinds of tickets and everything, but I'm finna drive now. I'm a safe driver. I'm gonna drive and I'm gonna do what's best for me while I'm driving. See, I allowed you to drive all them years, but that's it. We done. It's a wrap. I'm done with you. We no longer in a relationship. I'm walking out on you. You go find Shirley and you and Shirley get in a relationship because I don't want you no more. That's what you need to tell your trauma. I don't want you no more. We done. We done. So again, thank you for tuning in to Tidbits with Peaches. S.O.P presents Tidbits with Peaches. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next Thursday. And again, the link is in the chat. If you ever need to send a message or anything you need to talk about, there are always ways to get me. I am on Facebook. I am on TikTok. And then we have the link up there again via email. It's sopchannel12@gmail.com. I love you all and have a great Thursday. And I'll see you next Thursday. Same time, same channel. Good night.